The issue of gender inequality that has for decades limited the role and capability of women is gradually becoming a thing of the past in Kaduna State. This can only be attributed to the dedicated leadership style of Governor Nasir El-Rufai, whose conviction to create a level playing field for all has chosen competence and qualification over age, gender, religious or ethnic considerations. For the first time in the history of Kaduna State, 5 out of 14 sitting commissioners are women. They are Commissioner for Works, Housing and Transport, Balaraba Aliu Inua; Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Hafsa Baba; Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Tourism, Ruth Alkali; Commissioner for Justice, Umma Aliu Hikma; and Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Amina Jaris Shijuade. For these women, the opportunity to serve, especially under a visionary leader like Governor Nasir El-Rufai, is a welcome development.
Working with Malam is very interesting. It's never dull. It's never boring. I'll tell you that. Malam is quite an inspirational leader to work with. What I particularly enjoy about him is that he's very practical in his approach to work. He doesn't micromanage. He gives you the opportunity to be creative in whatever job capacity he's given you, and he comes in when you need him to give support. He's a great ideas person. And he's an excellent problem solver. So while doing your work, you can always count on him to come in with solutions where you get stuck or where you have problems. But it's great that he allows you the freedom to be somewhat creative within the space of the job that you have.
It has been very demanding but interesting and exciting, because as demanding as the work can be, when you identify what needs to be done to impact people's lives, you implement and you see the results. It's very, very rewarding. So that part of it is exciting.
Well, I have never had an opportunity to work with him until this time around. But honestly speaking, he's a leader that I look upon for advice, for support. And at the same time, people look at him from outside as somebody very tough, very, he's not a welcoming person and so on. But coming close to him, I found out that I learned a lot. He's a very hard-working person. He's extremely intelligent. And if you're actually going to follow his footsteps, you really have to work triple times so that you can really see his real light. But that has also encouraged me to put in my best.
It is a great privilege working with him, because one, he is focused and he's a visionary leader. Madam Nasir El-Rufai has a lot of qualities to be identified with, and which I'm lucky working with him, because my position, if we go out as the commissioner, once you mention I'm a commissioner from Kaduna State, wow, people will start eyeing you, looking at you as a person that is very lucky to attach yourself with His Excellency.
One thing that I like so much about Malam is whatever letter, is it letter or is it any submission we make, Malam takes his time to go through it. And if there's any error there, he points it out, which is very good. He's a very good leader.
Worthy of mention is the fact that Kaduna State has the only female commissioner for works in the entire 36 states of Nigeria. Aside these commissioners, several positions of office that were prior to now dominated by men are now headed by women in the state. One of such positions is the office of the head of civil service in Kaduna State.
I didn't think I would be appointed just like that without, indicating that, going to do lobby for one thing or the other. I know I was lucky to be appointed permanent secretary by Patrick Yapoy, because he knew me right from the time I joined the civil service. He knew my performance, and so But those days you have to lobby before, yes, most of the times. But I don't know. So I honestly didn't believe until the day I was sworn in, and I wept. And I think all the permanent secretaries that were there really wept, because I was very happy, but I was also, it was unbelievable. And so for the past about 3 weeks before I was sworn in, when I was working as head of service, I was still flying on the air. I didn't, it really is. It took a long time before I really, and to date I have never woken up in, and to say that today I'm waking up as the head of service. I never remember that I am the head of service, honestly.
Women have never been given more opportunity to serve in various capacities of government than now in Kaduna State.
You see, the most important thing that even we have today in Kaduna State is having that conducive atmosphere for women to work and also to participate in politics, seek for elective positions and so on. Because today, this is the only administration that I can beat my chest to say that it has given every opportunity to women. We're more than 40% in governance.
I remember going to America for a program, African Women Conference, where he was awarded with the only governor that has passed the UN percentage of women in governance, which is supposed to be 35%, and he has passed it to 42%, because his key positions in government are women mostly. The Attorney General, the Head of Service, Commissioner Women Affairs, Commissioner Environment, and many others are women, and then the other assistants and technical assistants in the government house are women.
I think that Kaduna State right now might be the only state that has the largest number of women in government. We have about 5 commissioners, if I'm not mistaken, who are women. And there are other women in key positions. They're heads of agencies. The head of Kadipa is a woman. Our commissioner for works is a woman. The commissioner for justice is a woman. I mean, which other state will you see that? There are states in Nigeria where even the commissioner for women is a man, and it's really amazing.
Even though Governor Nasir El-Rufai has prioritized women inclusion in his government, his choices for these women, however, are completely based on competence rather than religion, ethnicity, or any other insignificant factor.
Prior to my appointment here in Kaduna State, I worked in the private sector, specifically in the solid mineral sector. I headed a gold exploration company. Before that, I had worked in with the FCT Investment Promotion Company and did a few things in other private concerns.
The administration of Governor Nasir El-Rufai has also appointed several women to serve as special advisors and assistants on different sectors or head departments and agencies of the state. Some of these appointees, while commending the governor, stated that the trailblazing act of women inclusion in government will not only break the jinx of gender inequality, but will avail women the opportunity to have a louder voice in decision-making processes.
This government is very sensitive to gender issues, and Malam takes it very important to include women in his government. So it's been very encouraging and very smooth for us women. I think it's very important to include women in governance, especially in high positions, because like half of the country is women. So women need to have a say in what is going on in government. And women also bring a different perspective.
Wherever women find themselves in government, they tend to be, looked down on. Even if you are intelligent enough to add value to the society, they still don't, like you. But the governor has given us a platform, and he has made it very clear that yes, women speak and they must speak.
You should know that when women are given the chance to do something, they do it well. Women go extra mile to ensure that they deliver and make everybody comfortable and happy. Women are always thinking of inclusion for both the men and the children and the elderly. So when a woman is given an opportunity to do something, just expect to do very well in such areas. I would like more women to be given these opportunities, really.
When you employ one woman, you're actually employing a whole community. When you teach a woman, you're teaching a whole community. The woman will go back home, train her children, train the people that work under her, train the community. I always tell people that I know, like myself, and when I see my friends that are men or my friends that are women, when we sit down and we talk, every time a woman talks, the first thing she probably talks about, when she gets something, she thinks of her family. How do my family benefit from this? How does the community benefit from this? How do my parents benefit from this? The man would think of the micro environment, himself, his wife, and his children. And unless he has a good wife at home who will guide him into ensuring that the extended family and the community get it, more often than not, you see that it is not. So I always say, once you train one woman, honestly, you're indirectly training 100 or more women, because she will definitely go back and impact, even if not on anyone, on her immediate family, who will in turn impact on other people.
In Kaduna State, we've never had it like this.
I didn't think I would be appointed just like that.
It has been evident that he has prioritized the issue of putting women in positions of leadership. That started from day one.
Women are about to come to the front burner.
This is the first in northern Nigeria.
So it's not about tokenism, it's not about counting the women in the room. It's about making sure that we have the value added from those selected women.
Out of the 14 commissioners, 5 are women.
The governor has given us a platform and he has made it very clear that yes, women speak and they must speak.
Every time I sit with Malam, I always come back a better person.
Whatever I ask for, to help me in my work, to help the ministry, he's forever ready to give me that support.
This government is very sensitive to gender issues.
He respects us, and so also our co-workers, they have to respect us too.
For us to break the cycle of poverty in Nigeria, women need to be empowered.
The Nasir El-Rufai-led administration of Kaduna State is all about breaking boundaries to pave way for developmental strides. Notably, is the choice of the governor's running mate in the 2019 elections. Nasir El-Rufai became the first sitting governor in the history of Kaduna State democracy to pick a woman as his running mate in a gubernatorial race. That woman is Dr. Hadiza Balarabe, a medical doctor and a daughter of Sanga local government area of Kaduna State. Before now, Dr. Hadiza Balarabe had served in various capacities, some of which includes Senior Registrar at the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria, Director of Public Health in the Federal Capital Territory. Currently, she is the Executive Secretary of Kaduna State Primary Healthcare Development Agency and the Senior Advisor and Counselor to Governor Nasir El-Rufai. On how she felt when the governor announced her as his running mate in the 2019 gubernatorial race, Dr. Balarabe recalls.
A mix of emotions, surprise, so many things, and wondering how it came to be me. But sometimes, things happen that you can't explain. So I just believe it is the will of God that I'm here, and I just made up my mind that whatever it takes, I'll put in my best to discharge the responsibilities of the office.
A lot of talking points were generated when Dr. Hadiza Balarabe was chosen by Governor Nasir El-Rufai as his running mate. For some, their concerns were centered on her gender, since a woman had never held the position of deputy governor in the democratic history of Kaduna State. But for Dr. Balarabe, it is only a call to service, and she is ready to answer as she has done in the past.
For me, professionally, I don't think I've had to sit back and look at any challenge, because I don't think I've noticed them. Going into a new field of leadership, especially at this level, I'm hoping that I'll carry that same spirit, that I had within the hospital to move on. I've always believed that if God brought you to something, He will actually give you a way, to deal with that situation. So as a woman, I think I'll even project myself more and even do better, because quite a lot of people now look up to me, and I don't want to disappoint them. So I don't want to think of any challenge. I want to take that challenge as a learning experience for me, so that I can move forward.
Dr. Hadiza Sabuwa Balarabe stressed the need for women, especially in northern Nigeria, to take up more leadership positions in the society. This, she says, will help motivate other women to break away from the mentality that has limited their performance capabilities.
Women are very good managers of resources. We need to have some kind of diversity in leadership or in leading. But most importantly, when you're in a governance or a leadership position, you tend to serve as a model for those who are coming behind you. Most people want to go into certain professions or certain businesses, but they lack those who become their mentors. And that's why you see girls stepping aside and letting other people take that role, on their behalf. So I think once we have quite a lot of women coming in, it will show other girls that at least we have the capacity, we have the competence, we have the abilities to do what men have hitherto been thought to do. So I think it's really very important that they're given that opportunity and that chance.
The choice of a running mate in Dr. Hadiza Balarabe by Governor Nasir El-Rufai seems to have boosted the confidence of women in the state. They are optimistic that the step will fast-track development that includes the needs of women on the priority list of Kaduna State.
It certainly gives us a louder voice. From the start of Madam Nasir's time in office here, it has been evident that he has prioritized the issue of putting women in positions of leadership. That started from day one. And this has been shown more and more as we have gone along. More women have been appointed into positions. I was one of the first that came in, and since my time, other women have joined us in the cabinet and in so many other positions in Kaduna State. The appointment of a woman as the next deputy governor, should I call maybe an icing on the cake, because it gives an even louder voice for women. It will further enhance the confidence that women have in not just Kaduna State around. It sets a fantastic example for my boss's colleagues across the nation, other state governors, and I dare say that this has most importantly inspired so many young women in Kaduna to see that it is possible to get to certain heights in government.
I'm really impressed about this move, and I think Kaduna is about to be amazed to what extent development can go for in Kaduna. Really, we're about to be wowed. And this woman is she's very meticulous as a medical doctor, so I believe that I'm even happy myself as a woman. I'm happy we will be in the office. We are going to be considered also, because we put the men first every time. So this is a very great step, and I respect the governor for doing that.
This has never happened before in the democratic setup in this state and in the whole north, and it's going to encourage a lot of women and young girls to aspire to higher positions and see that women can do as well as men can, or even better.
He picked her not because she's a woman, not because she's from Sanga local government, not because she's a Muslim, but because he felt she was the right person for the job. She's the cadre of women I'm talking about. We have women out there like Dr. Hadiza who are capable, who have the requisite experience and training, and who, given the opportunity, will add value and will rise to the occasion.
She would be able to represent women better. Who is better to represent women than a woman who has been working, who knows what women need, who I think will provide better opportunities or stand and ensure that better opportunities are provided for women to be able to succeed in the society and be the best that they can be.
For women inclusion in government in Kaduna State, as it stands, over 40% of Governor Nasir El-Rufai's team are women. This figure, of course, surpassing the United Nations 35% women involvement prerequisite. This clearly depicts the governor's determination to give women a louder voice, and with his selection of Dr. Hadiza Balarabe as his running mate, the developmental boundaries in Kaduna State are about to extend beyond imagination.